Good evening. I want to welcome everybody here tonight for our service and for the annual Flag Park Veterans Tree Lighting. This is a very special evening when the citizens of Fayette have a chance to celebrate the service of our servicemen and women throughout the years. Join me as we pay tribute to all that have served and sacrificed for us. At this time, I would like to recognize members of our local VFW Post 5406, our commander, Jerry Fulmer, and lots of members that are here tonight in attendance with us. Please give them your attention as they present our flags and our Pledge of Allegiance.
Please place your hand over your heart as we sign the pledge. Ex-military can present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order, heart. Thank you.
Owens, she has a beautiful voice, and we're fortunate she sings for us at church, but she's going to be singing the national anthem for us tonight, as well as God Bless America later on in the program.
Everybody stand.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Our first speaker this evening will be Commander Jerry Fulmer. Many of you know him as a native of Fayette, a past Fayette forest ranger, current forest restoration, a member of Fayette First Church of Christ. So join me as we welcome Jerry to the podium. Oh, and he's a Garden Club member.
I don't believe there's a new face in this crowd. I've seen all of you before at these things. I'm preaching to the choir. I thank all of you for being here. The Veterans of Foreign Wars is an elite organization. It's only those people that have been in combat are a member of the VFW. And we're blessed here with an active post, and we're thankful for that. As the commander of the post, I would like to thank the mayor and the probate judge and the Garden Club for all their patriotic programs they have, the support they give to the veterans. When I got back from Vietnam, it was like one person at a time. 877 went as a unit, they came back as a family, they were welcome back as a family. When I got back from Vietnam, it was one person. I got off the plane, I came home, that was it. Nobody even knew I went to war. Now, we recognize our veterans. They say, thank you for your service. Everyone that's been in the service now is appreciated, and that is a blessing because you really sacrifice. When someone serves our country, it is a sacrifice because many are gone months and months from home in harm's way. And their loved ones, the families, all sacrifice for this country and our freedom. And we're really very, very thankful for all the benefits and the fact that we are appreciated now. And we thank you for being here tonight. John and Doris and the Garden Club came up with this thing of flying the tree, and we're most thankful for their acknowledgement of our service. And thank you for being here.
Next, I would like to welcome our probate judge, Mr. Mike Freeman. Mike's a native of Fayette. He's married to our Garden Club member, Tonya, and he's the father of Maddie and Zach. He's also a member of the First Baptist Church, so join me as I welcome Judge Freeman.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here tonight to stand before such a group that has served our country, a group that has really provided us the opportunities that we have here in Fayette as well as our country. You know, we talk about service, and Jerry spoke about service, and really to serve, then you have to set aside yourself. You have to set aside all the desires and the things that are comfortable to you, the things that sometimes even make you happy if you're going to serve others. And I really can't think of a more selfless act than someone serving our country, that what they give up to do that. As you leave your family, as you leave sometimes jobs that you had, as you leave just the surroundings that are familiar to you, to go and to be involved with protecting our country, with making our country better. There's no greater selfless act than that. So I do thank you very much for your service. And this is an event that, like I say, has been going on for a number of years, but it's one that we look forward to, and it never gets old. So I'm going to keep mine very short tonight, because I know y'all have a meeting that you're really up against for another one. It has food, so there's no way that I'm going to extend beyond that. But again, I do appreciate what you've done, and anything that you need from us, the mayor, you know, always come, and we will help any way we can. Thank you.
Things have gone and I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, as the flag still stands for freedom. They can't take that away.
You're doing great. Go ahead.
Where
at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the day that I gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Certainly, our next speaker needs no introduction. Rod Northam is a familiar sight all over Fayette and at every event. He works so hard to promote our wonderful city, and we need not look far to see those efforts. He's serving his second term in office. He's a Garden Club member and married to our Garden Club member, Dina, and a father to Rhett and Jeannie. Please join me as we welcome Rod Northam.
I'll tell you what, that's hard to follow. I mean, just a heartfelt compassion there, just that goes out to each of you guys that served. It's hard to talk. So I know a lot of us were touched by that, and Bree, she did an outstanding job. I don't know if she's still back there, but that really meant a lot. So I thank her. But thank y'all for being here. You know, this is one of my favorite days of the year, is to come and celebrate and recognize with you guys. To have a tree that's going to go out there and be lit in honor of you each and every day from now through the Christmas season. So, you know, I think it's truly an honor to have you in our community. And, you know, I know we don't recognize you enough. I know Jerry said we did, but really we could do more, because you did so much for each and every one of us. You answered the call, you served, And a lot of us didn't do that, and a lot of us wouldn't do that. But there's no question that you did, and we truly appreciate it. But one thing I got to make note of, I don't see Skippy Hoken in here.
He's eating, I think.
Well, that's what Jerry told me. He said Skippy is not going to give up a free meal, no matter what. So we think Skippy's probably up there, and I'm going to run into him here in just a little bit, and we're going to make sure Skippy knows that he bailed on us. But Jerry told me, what day was that? One day last week, Friday, I think, wasn't it? He said Skippy's going to go to that, going to eat. But I appreciate y'all taking the time, and I know I don't want to take time because I know you got another event to be at. But I really appreciate you, and just want you to know how much you mean to the community in the city of Fayette and Fayette County, state of Alabama. You're truly, truly what makes our country great. So we thank you. Our guest speaker today is Owen Sweat. So he's no stranger to any of you in here, I know. Owen has served. He's also served in the capacity for education. So he's done what he can to do to serve and to deliver for our whole community. So I'd like to welcome Owen Sweat to come say a few words. If he talks too long, blame him, not me, okay? Owen, thanks for being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Eileen, I appreciate the invitation. I'm very humbled to have an opportunity to speak. And I want to thank the Garden Club. I am so impressed with the Garden Club. I honk, I wave, and I've threatened to write articles to the paper thanking y'all. You're one of the best clubs, most active clubs I've seen and been around, and I do really thank you. Thirdly, I want the spouses of any veteran to stand. They mean so much to our society. They mean so much to spouses. As I've thought about the time that I've left home and my spouse, who is chasing grandchildren in Tuscaloosa tonight, what she's done, not only what she's done for me, and speaking of that, where would our grandchildren be without their grandmothers and grandfathers? And I really, really appreciate all of it and the opportunity to speak. And I'll just tell you now, if I get an amen, y'all can forget about eating. And the second thing, when my man comes to play taps, I will not be in here. There's lots of things I can't handle well, and that's one of them. And anyway, I'm gonna try real hard not to get emotional about this, but this is the kind of thing, and it's what we're gonna talk about a little bit tonight. Anyway, it's gonna be a little bit different. But anyway, I was reading in the Neighbors magazine. It's published by Alpha, I think, and Sean Dietrich. I don't know, everybody know who Sean of the South? Yeah. He writes every month in there. So Lana was sharing with me about Sean and talking about the flag. And he was talking to a group of young folks, and they were interacting, and they talked about the maker of the flag, and they said, yes, Diana Ross was the maker of our flag. So, well, that's pretty cute. We got half of it right anyway. So I'm a teacher, and I'm going to move around, and I want you to feel free to talk, at some point in time if you want to do that. But I want to talk about some of the heroes that we've had, and ones that I wanted my grandchildren to learn about. The first one is Alvin York. Sergeant Alvin York was World War I. How many of you ever heard of Alvin York? We have a weapon named after him. Old country boy. I'm talking about raw country boy from Kentucky. And he was drafted. And he eventually went into the service and did some things to start with. And then they talked about combat. He said, I'm a conscientious objector. I don't think you can kill. And anyway, I won't belabor it. The commander eventually helped him change his mind. Sent him home. I want you to go home. I want you to think about it. He came back and was one of the biggest heroes of the war that there happened to be. And when they're fighting the Germans, and I got the movie and I taped it on, I want my grandchildren to watch that. It is not wonderfully made, but it's a 4-star movie. And he single-handedly almost made the Germans surrendered their whole unit to him. It was just marvelous, and the more the stories are told, that becomes really, really important. And I wanted to mention him. Then I want to go to World War II. Audie Murphy was one of my heroes. Audie Murphy was claimed by many to be the most decorated soldier in World War II. And he became a cowboy. Loved watching him on the movies, and he was really, really good. And then I happened to be watching TV yesterday, and of course we've got to watch football some on Sunday after we take a nap. And I saw this program on PBS about a Navy corpsman at Pearl Harbor. Now most of us have seen, we all know about Pearl Harbor pretty much. But this was about a single individual, just a Navy corpsman who I didn't even really know what a corpsman was, but it's like the Army medic. And he served in Hawaii, and he took pictures. He had a camera, and so they have a lot of documentary about him. And then Pearl Harbor hit, and most of us know it. It refreshed some of my memory, and we've all heard our president say, on December the 7th, we were ruthlessly attacked. Well, and that was the big day, and it started early on Sunday. And it recounted all of the horrors of that day and what we went through in trying to stay out of the war, and the number of people that were killed and gave their lives for us in that type of situation. And it was just very, very sad and enlightening along that way. Then I thought of another story. 1944, a young man from Florida, 20-year-old, was drafted into the military, and he ended up serving with the Army Air Corps. The Army Air Force was not in President Truman declared or created the Air Force after the war. So he went into the Army Air Corps. He ended up taking some tests, and he totally messed up the mechanics test, and he played the fiddle. So he did another test where timing came in, and they made him a radio operator. So he got with a crew, B-17 crew, went into England and prepared then for the war. And 2 days before D-Day, they had their first mission, and D-Day became their second mission. They went on with the B-17 crew flying out of England, and then they finished their 34th mission. Now, somewhere before mid-44, they changed the requirement of 25 missions to 35 missions. So they flew their 34th mission. The young first lieutenant pilot came to them, and most of them were really young. They weren't supposedly captains doing that. First lieutenant came together, crew of about 11 or 12, said, we have a decision to make. You can take an R&R, rest in, what's the other R? Recovery in London, or you can fly your 35th mission and go home. What would you do? I mean,
I would probably fly that mission and go home.
I hear you. What would you do? Anybody want to go to R&R? They chose R&R.
I want to go to Hong Kong, you know.
Well, they went R&R, and they came back after the weekend and got to the barracks, and everybody said, where did you all come from? The Gung Ho, which was the name of their plane, was flown out that day by a new crew and never returned. And so by choosing R&R, this young man from Florida was able to survive the war. Flew the 35th mission, received the Distinguished Flying Cross, which is a very prestigious medal, went on home and made it on Halloween of 1944. He went to visit his sweetheart that night. They decided to get married, and her father said no. He had 3 girls. This was the youngest. The other 2 girls had gotten married to soldiers? He said no. She was 17, 18, I guess, probably, by that time. And so his wife did her thing, and he decided they could get married. 5 days later, November the 5th, 1944, my mother and dad were married. January 1946, my sister was born. And that began the generation called the baby boomers. Generally speaking, January 46 is supposedly when that happened. She was 9 days after the beginning. 2 years later, Junior was born. December of 1947. This is what I wanted to show you, and this is important to what I'm wanting to say tonight. This is the Distinguished Flying Cross that he was presented. I'll auction it off. No. You ain't got enough money. What I really valued and never knew about, and lots of this history I never knew. You know, you've all heard the story. They just didn't talk about it. He had a bomber jacket on the back of it, and I've didn't see his, but I went to Tucson to the museum that has all this stuff. There's the bomber jacket from the back, and it has gung ho. They painted the name on the plane. It has 35 bombs painted on it. After every mission, they would come in and paint. If somebody in the group could always paint, they painted bombs, 35 bombs, and I'm going. After he finally started talking about it, and I realized, where is that jacket? And it, you know, like most people, a lot of that stuff just kind of went away and vanished. And that would be very, very priceless for me. And so that was my father's experience in World War II. Went to college on the GI Bill, and the GI Bill changed America. And probably most of you young folks don't understand how it did. Country boys that were in the war got to come home, and some of them had a chance to go to college and made a life of themselves. My dad retired as the dean of the College of Business at Southeastern Louisiana University in Hammond, Louisiana. Just an old country boy that his brothers worked at the mills in Florida around Tampa. And that's just exactly, it gave us a middle class in America, and that was extremely important. Now, I'm a teacher, and I have just put on USET induction. And the only reason I learned that term is we had to evaluate teachers years ago. And what I've done is I've tried to set the scene for you to absorb what now I want to talk about. I haven't even mentioned the flag, have I? And I thought I would do something different and help us to understand what culture is all about. And that's why I've gone through this, and I want to help us explain how important the culture in our country is about the flag and service and so on and so forth. A general agreement about a definition of culture in dictionaries, or even for business organizations are big on culture. And we hear it on TV now with some of our athletic coaches and what they try to create. And it has to do with organizations and what they believe and do. And so here's the definition I think really sums it up about as well as anything. It is a belief system of shared values. So I want you to think about that a minute. Shared values. What values do we have in common and share about the flag? Let's do this, and I want you all to talk now. What does the flag represent?
Patriotism.
Pardon?
Patriotism.
Patriotism.
Freedom.
Well, what is the patriotism about the flag? I don't know if I understand what that is.
God and country.
We believe and value our country, God. Okay, what else? What does it represent? Where do you see flags? Oh my, I went through town today up somewhere, I don't even remember where I was going, flags everywhere. What do they represent?
Freedom.
Freedom. You bet. What else? Where else do you see them? What? Sacrifice. And that's really, really good. Now, she did good because I taught her.
Yes, they did. But not this.
No, not this. No, I would say if I had some guys in here say, you taught us about duck hunting. Where do you see the flag? You see it draped across a coffin. And that really came to mind after I decided, after I was invited, to talk about culture, something different from other facts that you've learned about the flag. What I want us to learn about now is how do we create that environment, that culture, because we have changes coming on. Does everybody value the flag? No. So we don't have shared values anymore, do we? 25, 30 years ago, it would have been maybe 95%. How do we know people don't always value the flag? They burn it? Well, what's the big thing happened about 10 years ago? That we're not standing. Not only are we not standing, we're gonna not even come out, or we're going to get on our knees or whatever. Now see, that becomes an issue. No longer is that value universal. And that's sort of what I want to talk about, how you deal with it. Now, what did I tell you to start with when we got started talking about the military and the wars? I told you stories. So that's how we help develop our cultures, through stories. We not only talk about the stories, but then we talk about individuals. Some of them are heroes. The first two I told you about were heroes. We have legends. We have myths. I'll tell you, in business schools talk a lot about culture, how important it is. Sam Walton would get in his pickup truck and go to Walmart stores and he carried his dog with him. What was the dog's name? Old Roy. What is Old Roy in Walmart? Dog food. Isn't that pretty neat? And so he just rambled around and myths about it. Did you know that Sam Walton, fill in the blanks. Think about something. Did you know that our mayor, fill in the blanks. They become heroes, they become legends, and then the myths just get bigger. Did you ever hear about Coach Sweat? No, never mind now. Well, you get the idea. So there we go. Stories, myths, traditions, rituals. Let's go with rituals. What are rituals? Have we had any rituals? Have we had any rituals? No, I'm not going to pick on y'all. You may not know what a ritual is. Have we had any rituals tonight? The pledge to the flag. Do we have any others?
The national anthem.
National anthem. Those are rituals. Why did I show you this right here? What else do we have in organizations or whatever? Awards. We give, do we give awards or things to people? You bet. At the end of the show last night with Pearl Harbor, they had people lined up and they were giving them medals for their efforts. That's how a culture is developed. And I really don't want to take too much time, but I'm getting motivated, but I'm gonna stop. Okay. Slogans and symbols. Do we have a symbol as it refers to the flag? We could really call that a symbol, really, I guess, too. But it has meaning. We know it has meaning in reference to who and who all is involved in that, and the price is paid, and that sort of thing becomes really, really important. So, if I were to ask you, how in the world are we going to do something with our situation here in the United States, as we refer to it as our culture? How are we going to help our culture? How are we going to improve it? that becomes the issue. I always like to say, all right, now then, after all this talking, so what? This is our so what issue. Now, what are we going to do? What can we do to change the culture of the flag or the culture of the military, the culture of whatever? Leaders, y'all, any suggestions, any ideas?
It starts here.
It starts here as
Right here.
in
Fayette.
In
right here in
Fayette.
Fayette.
do you have children?
I do.
Do you have grandchildren?
I do.
So what can we do?
Tell them the stories.
We tell them a story. We get some heroes. We get them involved. What does all of that mean? You've got symbols. What does that symbol right there mean? I like that. Go ahead, you can get some help.
That's the weather.
The weather, learning about the weather. And goodness gracious, doesn't that look nice? And so all of that as it presents itself is where we got to start. It needs to happen in our schools. It needs to happen at work. And there are organizations that really work at building this culture that we call America. It is very, very important, and it has to happen. And it has to happen across our country. And we're not going to get political about this sort of thing because everybody's got to be involved, and we've got to make it happen. And of course, we mentioned God, and that has gotten to be a sore spot in our country. For everybody to mandate this. And I do understand how this sort of thing comes about, but it doesn't have to happen as the values. We have to have the shared values. That is the key. And we've got families, even from mom and dad to children to grandchildren, whose values don't agree. And that's something that we've got to work with and work at. And I ultimately, that was the whole point of all of these stories, was to get us thinking about our culture and how we can affect it, especially as it relates to our wonderful flag that reflects our free country. I wrote some things down, and I'm just going to read this. Why is culture important? Are our country's greatest asset. And a strong culture is a powerful way of guiding behavior. A strong culture helps guide behavior through informal rules. What happened to the kneeling on the sideline at NFL games? Why is it gone? It's the informal rules that we have. If you do that, we're going to change that. How do we change that? Take up arms and go shoot them? No. We take our dollars and we let people know we're not going to spend our dollars that way. And eventually it all is gone, and I don't know, y'all still may think about it. Some of you still may not watch NFL football, and I understand that. It is a great way. A strong culture guides behavior through informal rules most of the time. And it enables people to feel better about what they do. That's particularly good even at work. You know, you all are working lots of people here in this city and the county. Last paragraph. Culture has to be developed through our homes, our schools, our work organizations, our churches. Do we have shared values in all of our churches? No, we don't. And that's got to, well, of course, I don't want to make arguments for everybody has to think like I think. That's definitely not right. Saw one quote. If everybody is paddling on the same side of the canoe's going to turn over. I like that. Shallow roots in organizations have to be watered all the time. What does that mean? Shallow roots require constant watering. What does that mean? Come on, come on.
We need to be digging deeper.
They gotta go down. We gotta get them down. We don't need to we're taking our water cans all the way around all the time. We want deep roots so we don't have to water all the time. Where was I? In schools, homeschools, work organization, churches, entertainment, government, and other social interactions. And now we've got a real animal going with social media. What a task we have before us. May the flag represent our shared values through our heroes, stories, symbols, and rituals. Thank you. I appreciate it.